What's going on, movie fans? My name is Michael Weer, and I like to talk about movies. Today we're going to talk about all the movies that came out in June of 2023, and then we're going to rank them from worst to best. Now, just like in previous ranked list videos that I've made so far this year, there's a couple things I got to get into before we get to that ranked list. The first thing is that these are the movies that I had a chance to see, and there's so much content in the streaming world or in theaters that I just don't have a chance to see that I might have missed something. So if you saw something I missed, let me know in the comment section down below, and I'll try to get to it at some point this year. The second thing I'll say is that this is my personal list, and it's more than likely not going to match your list, and if it did, that'd be kind of weird. So if you've got a different ranked list of these movies, maybe some of these movies, all these movies, let me know in the comment section down below how you would rank them. And finally, if this is the first time you're finding my channel, I invite you to subscribe and check out all the content that I have on my channel. I've done reviews or shorts for all the movies that we're about to talk about, so if you want to get my full thoughts, my full opinions on these movies, I invite you to check out those videos. Now, without wasting any more time, let's jump into June of 2023. Coming in at number 9, the very bottom of the list, we've got Asteroid City. Now, Asteroid City is directed by Wes Anderson, and there's a lot of Wes Anderson fans out there, and I will say that I've enjoyed some of his previous work, but most of the time, Wes Anderson just doesn't work for me. The one positive I do have for this movie is that visually, it's beautiful. It really is. I love the color palettes that he uses throughout this entire movie. I love the clothing, the setting, all of that. It works for me. But that's the only thing that worked for me. I didn't enjoy the plot of this movie. I didn't like how flat the characters felt throughout the whole movie. And I know it was a play that was being produced throughout the movie, and so they were supposed to sound like they were in a play, but because the actors came across so flat, whenever it got to the emotional beats of this movie, they just didn't work for me either. Overall, I've come to the conclusion that Asteroid City is just a movie that's not for me, and that's why it's at number 9.
I do a nude scene. You want to see it?
Huh? Did I say yes?
You didn't say anything.
I meant yes. My mouth didn't speak.
At number 8, guys, we have No Hard Feelings. No Hard Feelings is the Jennifer Lawrence-led raunch-com, and of course, raunch means raunchy, and that's what I was hoping we were going to get out of this movie. It was going to be like the raunchy comedy that we were quoting all year, that I was going back to a couple of times to take friends to go see. We just don't get comedies like that anymore, and this movie proved to not be that, because what ended up happening was all of the highlight funny moments are in the trailer. So if you've seen the trailers for this movie, 1 or 2 trailers that came out, if you've seen them, you've seen all the highlight funny moments. And then the story itself just isn't a very good story. It's a girl trying to get a car, so she's willing to sleep with Matthew Broderick's son in the movie to get the car. It's kind of a weak plot as it is. And then when you realize, oh wait, I'm not going to see anything more that's going to make me laugh, just feel like you're kind of wasting your time.
He doesn't come out of his room, he doesn't talk to girls, doesn't drink.
So when you say date him, do you mean date him or date him?
Yes.
Date him. Date him hard.
Okay. I'll date his brains out.
At number 7 is a movie I saw right after seeing No Hard Feelings. I was seeing 2 comedies in a row, trying to get both done in one night, and it's The Blackening. And unfortunately, this fell into sort of the same trap that No Hard Feelings did, when it just felt like I had seen all of the really good, funny moments in the trailer. And that's the thing with comedies. They have to sell those tickets, so they give you the really good moments in the trailer, but when they don't have more really good moments to back that up, you end up just like, all right, well, what are we doing here then? Because I've already seen all the jokes. And yes, there's a horror aspect to this movie in The Blackening, where a bunch of people go to a cabin in the woods and then they get terrorized. So there is a horror aspect, but there's not enough of one to be like, well, at least the horror was really good, because it really wasn't. And then there was a twist ending reveal at the end, and again, just didn't work for me. I'll tell you, the bottom of this list are not bad movies this year, but they're all movies that just didn't work for me personally.
Clifton. Yeah.
I can prove I'm not the blackest.
Prove it.
I've never seen Friday. I voted for Trump.
What?
Twice.
Coming in at number 6, guys, we have Extraction 2. Now, there were some aspects of this movie I liked. I liked the setup of this movie. This is a follow-up to Extraction that came out in 2020. It stars Chris Hemsworth as Tyler Rake, who's a mercenary who specializes in extractions. He gets hired by Idris Elba to go do a new extraction job, and the movie takes off from there. There's a lot of action in this movie, which also kept it a little higher on my list, but the action scenes are also what kept it out of the top 5, because the action scenes just didn't work for me this time around. I don't like that shaky cam. Look, I've gotten too used to the John Wick movies setting the bar way up here, where you can have one track action shot where you don't have to cut it up at all and the camera doesn't move and it's just a beautiful scene. But instead, in this movie, you get shaky cam the entire time, anytime an action scene happens, and I just felt myself getting dizzy with the movie. I don't know, it was kind of like flavor of the week on Netflix. You know, Netflix puts out a movie a month or 2 movies a month, you watch them and you're like, it's going to be in the bottom portions of movies I saw this month, unfortunately. At number 5, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. This is a movie that I didn't have a ton of high hope for, but I did hope that it would be a fun adventure movie. I guess we got that. Ultimately, I really liked the soundtrack. I really liked the globe-trotting adventure aspect of this movie. I even really loved the opening scene where they de-aged all the actors and put them in there. That was really fun, and I was hoping we'd get more of that throughout the movie. Instead, we ended up with this old man Indiana Jones, and it just doesn't work. It didn't work 15 years ago. It's not working now. He seems too old for the role. He seems too old to be doing all of the action that he's doing. And at a certain point, I'm just like, why didn't you guys recast? Why didn't you just give us a brand new Indiana Jones so we could start a new adventure with? Because the way this movie is shaping out in theaters, we're probably not going to see Indiana Jones for another 15 years.
But I've been looking for this all my life.
At number 4, guys, is the biggest surprise of the year so far, and that is Transformers: Rise of the Beasts. This is a movie that wasn't on my radar at all. I saw the previews, they didn't do it for me. I wasn't going to go check it out, and then my son was like, hey, Dad, let's go check out Transformers together. And I was like, all right, well, he'll enjoy it. I'll get a review out of it, so I'll go see it. So we went and saw it on opening day. We saw it in 3D, and I was blown away at how much I really enjoyed this movie. Again, going into the movie, I didn't have any hope for it, and I ended up really liking the comedy. I thought Pete Davidson's robot was absolutely hilarious. I really liked the action. It wasn't a CGI nightmare fest like the previous Transformers movies have been. I even liked the emotional beats. They worked for me in this movie. I felt what those characters were feeling, and even though some of them were robots, it still worked. And finally, I love the ending of this movie. They did something that childhood Mike absolutely wanted from day one, and we finally got it. I'm going to spoil it right here, so skip ahead 10 seconds if you need to. But in the end of this movie, they introduced the G.I. Joes into the Transformers universe, and that's crazy. I was so excited about that. So yeah, Transformers at number 4.
How big can this guy be?
He eats planets. So, like, way bigger than a planet.
At number 3 is a horror movie, the only one on this list this month, and that is The Boogeyman. This is another big surprise, put it right up there with Transformers being things that I didn't think would be as good as it was. The jump scares worked for me in this movie, the horror elements worked, the story was really good, and I love how they ended this thing. Too many horror movies end things so open-ended that it just feels like the movie was a waste of time, but this movie did not do that. They gave us a definitive end to this movie, but they cracked the door open, and I like that. With that said, The Boogeyman is a really fun time. I recommend it to all of you, and that's why it's at number 3.
Dad, you have to listen to me.
Okay. I'm listening. Sweetheart, let me handle it.
At number 2, guys, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. I know, before you get into it, I loved it too. I absolutely love the animation, I love the storyline, I love the action, I love the laughs, I love the emotional beats, I love everything about this movie, but it's not a complete movie. This is half a movie. So we don't technically know how this story is going to play itself out. So watching this movie at face value, I'm like, I got half a movie. I loved everything I got in it. Love the Gwen Stacy stuff. Love the Peter Parker stuff. Love the Miles Morales stuff. I love the Miguel O'Hara stuff. I love everything about this movie. I really do. This is a damn near 10 out of 10 movie, but it doesn't have an ending. In fact, at the end of the movie, it starts to drag with all the different characters wrapping up their storylines, but then none of them actually wrap up their storylines, and we have to wait till the next movie comes out, and that might be 3 years away. So with that said, I look forward to Beyond the Spider-Verse. This movie might shift up and down on my top 10 best movies of the year list, because it's probably going to be there. Again, it is a near perfect movie, but the fact that it doesn't end, the fact that it doesn't have any conclusive ending to any of their stories, it's a little bit disappointing. And so with that said, it's number 2. That's not to take anything away from it, because I do believe it's a perfect movie. It's just not a finished movie.
And then I looked at my uncle and...
let me guess. He died?
And finally, guys, at number 1, you've probably already guessed it, it's The Flash. The Flash is a wonderful comic book movie. That's the word I think of when I think of this movie. It's wonderful. I love this movie from the opening scene that seems like a Saturday morning cartoon where you've got Ben Affleck's Batman, Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman, and you've got Ezra Miller saving all those babies at the hospital. And then you get into the heart of this movie, and the emotional pieces in this movie work so well. I love the scene that Flash has with his mom toward the end of this movie. It gets me every time. I've seen this movie twice in theaters. I plan on seeing it a third time. It's just a really fun time at the movies. And before I let you go, we're going to talk about Michael Keaton's Batman, because Michael Keaton's Batman takes on a Kryptonian and is so damn good. I love every aspect of this movie from beginning to end. Right now, it's my favorite movie of the year. That could change. There's some big ones coming out in July. There's some other movies I'm looking forward to toward the end of this year. So it might drop a few places. We'll see. But as of right now, The Flash is my number 1 movie of June, and it's my number 1 movie of 2023 so far.
You are?
Yeah. I'm Batman.
And that's my list for June of 2023. Guys, if you enjoyed this list, don't forget to hit the like buttons. It helps the video. It helps the channel. I always appreciate it. Again, like I said at the beginning of this video, if you've got thoughts and comments, maybe you rank these movies differently, throw that in the comment section down below. Let me know how you would rank these movies. Finally, if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, make sure you do that. I've got a ton of content on my channel, and I'd love for you to check it out. Thanks for watching. I'll see you all next time. Well, guys, we made it to the end of another video, and I appreciate you guys taking time to watch this video. It means a lot to me. If you want to check out any of the other videos on my channel, I've got all my Friday the 13th reviews right there, and all my 2023 reviews right there. Oh, why are we talking about Friday the 13th, you might ask? Well, last year I did all of the Friday the 13th reviews, and this year I want to do all of the Halloween reviews. I think it'd be really fun. But I don't know. Should I spread them out over 13 weeks' time, or should I cram them all into October? Let me know in the comment section down below. Curious what your thoughts are. Thanks for watching. See you all next time.